Yemi. Let me now get back to Dilip, and there are several questions on the chat. What I wanted to encourage Dilip to do is, if he wishes so, to address the issue of shifts between informal and formal channels, as well as the issue of the how far we are from the target of 3% of remittances costs by 2030. Plus, if there is any evidence of new migration and remittance corridors, please also comment. What I would like to encourage Dilip is not to comment, as these are two big issues, the risk of cryptocurrencies, which Luciano talked about, as well as the wage theft noticed by others. I think those issues go far beyond the ramifications of that particular seminar. Dilip, over to you for your 5 minutes, after which I will conclude. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Great interventions from everyone. And I just wanted to, again, bring back the question of data. The big surprise to us, even those of us who monitor data on a daily basis, the big surprise to us was the final tally that remittances did not decline. We didn't know that until they did not decline by as much as we were thinking. We didn't know that because the data came with a lag. So if you have data lags of 6 months or at least 4 months, and more so in countries like Africa and let's say Nigeria, then it becomes very difficult to put together the data. And if, in the top 10 remittance recipient countries, if you look at the share of remittances in GDP by that count, countries like Lebanon, Tonga, El Salvador, Honduras, where remittances are 25% of GDP, if you don't get the data for 25% of the time, that is a quarterly lag, you could run into macroeconomic problems. Forget about the humanitarian difficulties that families, millions of people face. So data on a granular basis, timely basis is needed, important. Second, a shift from informal to formal channels. There were, in fact, it is there in the report, and it was brought out again by Francesco very rightly, that the resilience of remittance flows was seen in all regions, some were more, some less. But in particular in sub-Saharan Africa, if you excluded Nigeria, the largest remittance recipient country, which receives alone about 40% of remittances to sub-Saharan Africa, then in Nigeria, remittances fell 28% last year. If you excluded Nigeria, remittance flows to sub-Saharan Africa actually increased by 2%. So there was resilience there. But the reason remittances to Nigeria fell by 28% has a lot to do with the shift from informal to formal channels. And that is a direct result of policy. So if you have black market premium in the exchange rate market, then money tends to shift. If tax rates are high on remittances, formal flows, then money shifts. So we have seen a bit of that shift during the crisis, from informal to formal, and also from formal to informal. For example, in the case of remittance flows to Venezuela, because of the difficulty of sending money through formal channels, which became even much more serious during the crisis because of the closure of difficulties and also black market premium on exchange rate, money shifted from formal to informal in that case. So we have the twin factor. Just to put things in perspective, there was an increase in digital remittances, but the mobile money flows, as recorded by the GSMA Association, it only went to 12 billion in the whole year, 12 billion. That is after an increase of 35% on a year-on-year basis. 12 billion out of 540 billion. So let's remember that cash is still the most important channel for sending money, and people's trust in cash will be there for a long time to come. I know Mikhail didn't want me to comment on crypto, just one word. Crypto only for remittances is difficult. Crypto for many things may work. That's all I will say on that topic. On costs, The target for SDG is 3% by 2030. You saw that in every region in the data that I pointed out, remittance costs are 1% or 2% when you look at the lowest cost corridors. But if you look at the highest cost corridors, everywhere remittances are 11, 12, or 24%. So costs are very, very high. And on average, everywhere remittance costs are double the target that SDG target is there. And again, looking at the know your client requirements, the AML CFT requirements, plus access to banking for migrants, their families, and access to banking for money transfer operators, that would have to be improved. Only then remittance costs would go down. And I just want to make one final point, and that is about the global remittances agenda. Global remittances agenda has focused on data, but also on the AML CFT regulations and payment systems and the system reforms, infrastructure issues, payment rails, right? But then there is this whole issue of leveraging remittances for financial inclusion of households, saving products, insurance products, loan products at the household level. And then there is the capital market access about remittances, which can be leveraged through diaspora bonds, through improvement to credit ratings, sovereign credit ratings included, and also through future flow securitization, which would allow remittances to be used as collateral for huge bond issuances, $1 billion bond issuances for sovereigns as well as banks. So it's a huge agenda. And again, remittances are a great force for development at the humanitarian level, at the individual level, and also at the macro level. And there is a lot more to be done on this topic. So we have seen the hopeful signs that they are holding up even during crisis. So something that we should keep in mind, that we need to facilitate these flows and keep remittances flowing, whether it is crisis or not. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dilip. Let me close by emphasizing a few things. First, the World Bank Group is really working hard to deepen our engagement on both migration and remittances. I would like to inform you that KNOMAD is about to launch an international working group to improve data on remittances in coordination with national statistical offices of top source and destination countries for remittances, as well as the IMF, the OECD, Eurostat, and the UN Statistics Office. Here, I think it's worth remembering that the really last major effort to improve data of remittances was the creation of a Luxembourg group, which was led by the World Bank in 2007. This resulted in a revision of the definition of remittances in the 6th Balance of Payments Manual of the IMF. However, what was observed by the team, including in preparation of the report, the most recent report, a significant number of countries, especially in Africa, still use outdated methods of the 5th and 4th IMF Balance of Payments Manual. So the technical assistance to those partners to upgrade their systems to number 6 is very much needed. Let me also remind you, I think Francesco talked about it, and Simone, that June 16th is the International Day of Family Remittances. And let me also inform you that on June 25th, KNOMAD is collaborating with the Call to Action to Keep Remittances Flowing to organize an anniversary event. Let me again reiterate my sincere pleasure that you have joined us for this event, and big thanks to Simone, Surjit, Francesco, Jaime, and Yemi, and to Dilip and the team. Thank you very much, and have a very good rest of the day. Bye-bye.